Numbers 25. Moabite seduction in Phinehas arises. While Israel was staying in Shittim, the people began to have immoral sexual relations with women from Moab. Then they invited the people to the sacrifices of their gods, so that the people were eating and bowing down before their gods. When Israel became bound to Baal of Peor, the anger of Adonai grew hot against Israel. Adonai said to Moses, "Seize all the ringleaders and hang them before Adonai, facing the sun, so that Adonai's fierce anger may be turned away from Israel." So Moses said to the judges of Israel, "Each of you, kill your men who have been joining themselves to the Baal of Peor." Then, behold, a man from Bnei Israel came and brought a Midianite woman to his brothers before the eye of Moses and the whole assembly of Bnei Israel, while they were weeping at the entrance to the tent of meeting. When Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron the Cohen, saw it, he rose from the midst of the assembly, took a spear in his hand, and went after the man of Israel into the tent, and pierced him through, both the Israelite man and the woman's belly. And the plague among Bnei Israel was stopped. However, 24,000 were dead because of the plague. Parashat Pinchas. Then Adonai spoke to Moses, saying, "Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron the Cohen, has turned away my anger from Bnei Israel, because he was very zealous for me among them, so that I did not put an end to Bnei Israel in my zeal. So now say, see, I am making with him a covenant of shalom. It will be for him and his descendants after him a covenant of everlasting priesthood, because he was zealous for his God and atoned for Bnei Israel." The name of the Israelite man killed with the Midianite woman was Zimri, son of Salu, a prince of Simeonite ancestral household. The name of the executed Midianite woman was Cosbi, daughter of Zur. He was a tribal head of the ancestral house in Midian. Adonai spoke to Moses, saying, "Deal with the Midianites as enemies and strike them, for they have been enemies to you in their deceptions of this matter of Peor, and in the matter of Cosbi, the daughter of a Midianite prince, their sister, who was slain on the day of the plague on the account of the Peor incident." Chapter 26, Numbers 26, numbering the second generation. After the plague, Adonai said to Moses and Eleazar, son of Aaron the Kohen, saying, "Take a head count of the entire community of Bnei Israel, since 20 years old and upward, by their ancestral houses, all who can serve in Israel's army." So Moses and Eleazar the Kohen spoke with them on the Moabite plains by the Jordan across from Jericho, saying, "Just as Adonai commanded Moses, a census will be taken of all men from Bnei Israel who came out of Egypt from 20 years old and upward." The descendants of the sons of Reuben, Israel's firstborn, by Hanoch, the Hanochite family, by Palu, the Paluite family, by Hezron, the Hezronite family, and by Carmi, the Carmite family. These Reubenite families numbered 4,730. The son of Palu was Eliab. The sons of Eliab were Nemuel, Dathan, and Abiram. These were the Dathan and Abiram, who were the community leaders who rebelled against Moses and Aaron and were among the following of the Korah in their rebellion against Adonai. Then the earth opened all its mouth and swallowed them with Korah, whose followers died, and the fire consumed the 250 men. These men serving as a warning. Korah's sons, however, did not die. The sons of Simeon by their families were by Nemuel, the families of the Nemuelites, by Jamin, the family of the Jaminites, by Jachin, the family of the Jachinites, by Zerach, the family of the Zerachites, and by Shaul, the family of the Shaulites. These families of the Simeonites number 22,200. The sons of Gad by their families were the son of Zephon, the family of the Zephonites, by Haggai, the family of the Haggites, by Shuni, the family of the Shunites, by Ozni, the family of the Oznites, by Eri, the family of the Erites, by Arad, the family of the Aradites, by Areli, the family of the Arelites. The sons of Gad numbered 40,500. And Onan were sons of Judah, but had died in the land of Canaan. The sons of Judah by their families were by Shelah, the Shelonite family, by Perez, the Perezite family, by Zerach, the Zerachite family. The sons of Perez by Hezron, the Hezronite family, by Hamul, the Hamulite family. These were the sons of Judah. They numbered 76,500. The sons of Issachar by their families were Tola and the families of the Tolites, by Puva, the Punite family, by Jeshub, the Jeshubite family, by Shimron, the Shimronite family. These were the families of Issachar. They were numbered 64,300. The sons of Zebulun by their families were by Sered, the family of the Seredites, by Elon, the family of the Elonites, by Jalil, the family of the Jalilites. By these were the Zebulunite families, and they numbered 60,500. The sons of Joseph by their families were Manasseh and Ephraim. The sons of Manasseh were by Machir, the family of the Machirites. Machir fathered Gilead. By Gilead, the family of the Gileadites. The sons of Gilead were by Lezer, the family of the Lezerites. By Helik, the Helikite family. By Asriel, the Asrielite family. By Shechem, the Shechemite family. By Shemiah, the Shemiahite family. by Zephyr, the Zephronite family. By Heifer's son Zelophehad had no sons, only daughters. The names of Zelophehad's daughters were Mala, Noah, Hagla, Milcah, and Tirzah. These were the families of Manasseh. They numbered 52,700. These were the sons of Ephraim by their families: the Shuthelahite family, of Bekar, the Becherite family, of Taran, the Taranite family. These were the sons of Aaron, the Aaronite family. These were the families of the sons of Ephraim. They numbered 32,500. These were the sons of Joseph by their families. The sons of Benjamin by their families were Bela, the Balite family, by Ashbel, the Ashbel family, by Ahiram, the Ahiramite family, by Shephufam, the Shephumite family, by Hufam, the Hufamite family. The sons of Bela were Ard and Naaman. By Ard was the family of the Ardites, by Naaman the family of the Naamanites. These were the sons of Benjamin. They numbered 45,600. These were the sons of Dan by their family, by Shuman, the Shumanite family. These were the families of Dan by family. They were all Shumanite families, and they numbered 64,400. The sons of Asher by their families were by Ema, the Emite family, by Ishvi, the Ishvite family, by Beriah, the Beriite family, through the sons of Beriah, by Heber, the Heberite family, by Malkiel, the Malkielite family. The name of Asher's daughters was Sarah. These were the families of Asher's sons. They numbered 53,400. The sons of Naphtali by their families were by Jaziel, the Jazielite family, by Guni, the Gunite family, by Jezer, the Jezreelite family, by Shillem, the Shillemite family. These were the families of Naphtali. By their families, they numbered 45,400. These sons of Israel totaled 601,730. Adonai then spoke to Moses, saying, "The land is to be divided to these by inheritance, according to the number of names. For the larger you are to make his inheritance larger, and the smaller you are to make his inheritance smaller. Each is to receive his inheritance in proportion to his population. Certainly the land is to be divided by lot. They will inherit it according to the names of their ancestral tribes. The division of the inheritance of larger and smaller tribes is to be decided by the lot." These were the numbers of the Levites by their families: by Gershon and the Gershonite families, by Kohath and the Kohathite families, by Merari and the Merarite families. These are the families of Levi: the Libonite family, the Hebronite family, the Machlite family, the Mushite family, and the Korhite family. Kohath fathered Amram. Amram's wife named was Jochebed, daughter of Levi, who was born to the Levites in Egypt. She gave birth for Amram, Aaron, and Moses, as well as Miriam, their sister. Aaron was the father of Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. However, Nadab and Abihu died, and they offered sacrifices with unauthorized fire before Adonai. The male Levites, a month old and upward, totaled 23,000, though they were not included among Bnei Israel, since he did not give them an inheritance among Bnei Israel. These were numbered by Moses and Eleazar the Kohen, and they continued Bnei Israel in the plains of Moab across from the Jericho. Not one of them was among those counted by Moses and Aaron the Kohen until they counted Bnei Israel in the Sinai wilderness, because Adonai had said he would surely die in the wilderness. Not one of them was left, except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun. And Numbers chapter 27, inheritance of daughters. The daughters of Zelophehad had Heifer, son of Gilead, son of Machir, son of Manasseh. Of the families of Manasseh, son of Joseph, the names of his daughters were Mala, Noah, Hagla, Milcah, and Tirzah. Stood before Moses, Eleazar the Kohen, and the princes of the entire assembly at the entrance to the tent of meeting said, "Our father died in the wilderness, but he was not one of the followers banding together against Adonai with Korah. Though he died for his own sin, yet he had no sons. Why should our father's name diminish from his family just because he had no son? Give to us the property among our father's brothers." So Moses brought their issue before Adonai, and Adonai spoke to Moses, saying, "The daughters of Zelophehad are right in saying you should give them property by inheritance among their father's relatives. You are to turn over the inheritance of their father to them. Furthermore, you are to speak to Bnei Israel, saying, if a man dies without a son, you are to transfer his inheritance to his daughter. If he has no daughter, you are to give his inheritance to his brothers. If he has no brothers, you are to give to his father's brothers. If his father had no brothers, you are to give it to the nearest relative to his family, that he might possess it. This is to be a legal statute for Bnei Israel, just as Adonai commanded to Moses." The commissioning of Joshua. Then Adonai said to Moses, "Go up to this mountain of the Abarim range and look at the land that I have given to Bnei Israel. When you have seen it, you will be gathered to your people, just as Aaron and your brother was gathered. For in the wilderness of Zin, during the strife of the community, you both rebelled against my word. Instead of honoring me as holy in the waters before their eyes. These were the waters of Meribah at Kadesh in the wilderness of Sin. Moses spoke to Adonai, saying, May Adonai, God of the spirits of all the flesh, appoint a man over the community, to go out and to come in before them, who will lead them out and bring them out, so that the people of Adonai would not be like sheep without a shepherd. Adonai said to Moses, Take Joshua son of Nun, a man in whom the Ruach is in the Ruach, and lay your hand on him. You will have him stand before Eleazar the Kohen and the entire assembly, and commission him before their eyes. Give to him some of your authority, so that the whole community of Bnei Israel will obey him. He will stand before Eleazar the Kohen, who will pray and obtain judgments for him by Urim, and before Adonai. And at his mouth they will go out, and at his mouth they will come in, he and all the community of Bnei Israel with him. Moses did just as Adonai commanded him. He took Joshua, stood him before Eleazar the Kohen, and the entire assembly. Then he laid his hands on him, and commissioned him, just as Adonai had spoken by Moses' hand. Chapter 28. Numbers 28. Adonai spoke to Moses, saying, Command Bnei Israel and tell them to be careful to present to me at the Moedim my food offerings by fire as a pleasing aroma. Moedim appointed times. Tell them, this is the fire offering which you are to present to Adonai, 2 male lambs a year old without flaw, as a daily regular burnt offering. Prepare 1 lamb in the morning, and the other lamb you are to prepare at twilight, along with 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour for a grain offering, mixed with 1/4 of a hin of oil from pressed olives. This is the regular burnt offering initiated at Mount Sinai as a pleasing aroma of fire offering by Adonai to Adonai. With each lamb, pour out 1/4 of a hin of fermented drink at the sanctuary as a drink offering to Adonai. Prepare the 2nd lamb at twilight with the same type of grain and drink offerings you prepare in the morning, a fire offering as a pleasing aroma to Adonai. Shabbat, weekly rest. On the Shabbat you are to present 2 flawless male lambs a year old, along with 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour as a grain offering mixed with oil and its drink offering. This is the burnt offering for every Shabbat, besides the regular burnt offering and its drink offering. Rosh Chodesh, new moon. On the 1st of the month, you are to present to Adonai a burnt offering of 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 flawless male lambs a year old, with 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering, with each bull and 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering with them, and with each lamb 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil for a grain offering. A burnt offering is a pleasing aroma, as an offering made by fire to Adonai. Their drink offering shall be, per bull, 1/2 a hin of wine, 1/3 of a hin of wine per ram, and 1/4 of a hin per lamb. This will be the monthly burnt offering at each new moon throughout the year. Also, 1 male goat as a sin offering to Adonai, besides the regular burnt offering, is to be offered with its drink offering. Pesach, Passover. On the 14th day in the 1st month is Adonai's Passover. On the 15th day there is to be a feast. For 7 days matzah will be eaten. You are to hold a sacred assembly on the 1st day. You are not to do any laborious work. You are to offer to Adonai burnt offerings by fire, 2 young bulls, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs as a year old. They are to be flawless. You are to offer their grain offering of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah per bull, 2/10 per ram, and 1/10 per each of the 7 lambs, plus 1 goat for a sin offering to atone for yourselves. In addition to the morning burnt offering and regular burnt offering, you are to offer these. Just like this, you are to offer each day for 7 days, the food to be offered by fire for each day as a pleasing aroma to Adonai, beside the regular burnt offering with its drink offering. On the 7th day, you are to have a sacred assembly, and you are to do no laborious work. Shavuot, the Feast of Weeks. On the day of the first fruits, when you offer to Adonai a new grain offering during the Feast of Weeks, you are to have a sacred assembly. You are to do no laborious work. You are to offer as a pleasing aroma a burnt offering to Adonai, 2 young bulls from the herd, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs a year old. With each bull, there is to be a grain of offering of 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil, with 1 ram, 2/10, and with each lamb 1/10, plus 1 male goat to make atonement for you. In addition, you are to prepare the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and its drink offering. They are to be without defect. Chapter 29. Numbers 29. Yom Torah, Day of Shofar Shouts. On the 1st day of the 7th month, you are to have a sacred assembly. You are to do no laborious work. It is for you a day of sounding the shofar. You are to prepare a burnt offering as a pleasing aroma to Adonai, 1 young bull from the herd, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs a year old without flaw, with their grain offering of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah with the bull, 2/10 with the ram, and 1/10 with each of the 7 lambs, as well as 1 male goat as a sin offering to make atonement for yourselves. Also offer the burnt offering for the month with its grain offering, the regular burnt offering with its grain offering, and the appropriate drink offerings as a pleasing aroma to Adonai as an offering by fire. Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. On the 10th day of the 7th month, you are to have a sacred assembly. You are to deny yourselves and do no work. You are to present to Adonai a burnt offering as a pleasing aroma, 1 young bull from the herd, 1 ram, and 7-year-old male lambs without defect, along with their grain offerings of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah with the bull, 2/10 of the ram, and 1/10 with each of the 7 lambs. Also offer 1 male goat for a sin offering, in addition to the sin offering for atonement, as well as the regular burnt offering with its grain offering and their drink offerings. Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles. On the 15th day of the 7th month, you are to have a sacred assembly. You are not to do any of the work, and you are to celebrate the feast of Adonai for 7 days. You are to offer a burnt offering by fire to Adonai as a pleasing aroma, 13 young bulls from 1 herd, 2 rams, and 14-year-old male lambs without defect. Their grain offerings of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah with each one of 13 bulls, 2/10 of each of 2 rams, and 1/10 of each with 14 lambs, plus 1 male goat as a sin offering, besides the regular burnt offering with its grain and drink offering. On the 2nd day, you are to offer 12 young bulls from the herd, 2 rams, and 14-year-old male lambs without flaw, with their grain and drink offerings of the bulls, rams, and lambs as appropriate by their number according to the regulations, plus 1 male goat as a sin offering, as well as the regular burnt offering with its grain and drink offerings. On the 3rd day, offer 11 bulls, 2 rams, and 14-year-old male lambs without defect, with their grain and drink offerings of the bulls, rams, and lambs, the number specified, and the male goat as a sin offering in addition to the regular burnt offerings with its grain and drink offerings. On the 4th day, 10 bulls, 2 rams, and 14-year-old male lambs without flaw, their grain offerings and drink offerings with the bulls, rams, and lambs by their number according to the regulations, 1 male goat as a sin offering, and the regular burnt offerings with its grain and drink offerings. On the 5th day, 9 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male 1-year-old lambs without defect, with their grain and drink offerings by their number specified, and 1 goat for a sin offering, in addition to the regular burnt offerings with its grain and drink offerings. On the 6th day, 8 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs a year old without defect, with the bulls, rams, and lambs, their grain and drink offerings according to those numbers specified, and 1 goat for a sin offering with 1 regular burnt offerings and its grain and drink offering. On the 7th day, 7 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs without defect a year old, plus their grain and drink offerings from the bulls, rams, and lambs according to the number specified, in addition to 1 male goat for a sin offering and the regular burnt offerings with its grain and drink offerings. On the 8th day they shall be for you an assembly. You are to do no regular work. You are to offer Adonai a burnt offering, a fire offering, a pleasing aroma, 1 bull, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs a year old without defect, and their grain and drink offerings, with the bull, ram, and lamb corresponding to their number according to the regulations, and a goat for a sin offering besides the regular burnt offering with its grain and drink offerings. You are to prepare for these for Adonai at your Moedim, in addition to your vow and free will offerings, along with your burnt offerings, grain offerings, drink offerings, and fellowship offerings. So Moses told Bnei Israel all that Adonai commanded Moses.